and welcome to the program, folks. You're listening to Common Sense Radio. Is the media the next one to be 86'd? That's the question I have for you tonight. Is Facebook the next one to be 86'd? And if you don't know what 86 means, what it means is to be banned and barred from an area. And that's what happened to Alex Jones, breaking news over the last 24 to 36 hours. Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, a lot of the platforms have blocked Alex Jones. All these are private companies, and I support their private decisions 100%. But who, as Senator Ted Cruz said, who in the hell has made Facebook the arbiter of truth? The arbiter of who defines hate speech? That is a question that you should be thinking when you see these headlines. And the media is not really covering it the proper way. That's why you're tuning in to me tonight. And jam-packed show. And free speech is the key tonight to what I want to talk about. Like I said, these are private companies that have taken Alex Jones off of their platforms. And they're allowed to do that. A couple things that as I was digging into these stories, Twitter has not banned them because Jack and Twitter's team came out and said that he has not violated Twitter's terms of policy. But Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple iTunes, he's violated their terms and is considered hate speech. We're going down a slippery slope. We really are, folks. We really are. And you would think Facebook, of all places, as much hot water as they have been in over the last 6 to 12 months. I mean, look at last week when they lost $100 billion in market value. $100 billion in market value. That's an incredible number to be losing. And the thing with Facebook is they really have the tools right now with Instagram, because Facebook owns Instagram, with their new platform, Instagram TV, to destroy YouTube. Maybe not destroy YouTube, but give YouTube a run for their money. And for them to do something like this, it's crazy to me. I tweeted out to Jack and the Twitter team that, and I'll just paraphrase to you, I hope that Twitter becomes the platform for free speech, the beacon of free speech, to pull more people to Twitter. I enjoy Twitter, honestly, more than Facebook, but I do enjoy Instagram. To me, is my favorite. But with the suppression of free speech, and I completely disagree with Alex Jones. I think Alex Jones is a nutcase. He is dangerous. He's a person that believes the frogs are gay. Okay? And you can't make this stuff up. I mean, back with Sandy Hook, he put some pretty bad stuff, making false accusations that this was a government-sponsored killing of these kids. That's disgusting. He has a lot of lawsuits against him right now. I mean, I guess you can be a millionaire ripping your shirt off out on TV and selling supplements, but you still deserve free speech. And this is, like I said, this is a slippery slope that could be very dangerous. And first they came for Milo, and not many people cared. And then when they came for Alex Jones, we should be very, very concerned. And not because of Alex Jones, but the free speech. The most important thing with free speech is to agree to, maybe not agree, but to support speech that you disagree with. Okay? There's a lot of things that I disagree with and seen on Facebook that offends me, that downright kind of disgusts me. But I've never, ever reported it. I never will. Unless it has anything to do with crime, hurting someone, or killing somebody. That would be the only thing that maybe you could talk to, okay? I saw a lot of free speech supporters going on. Would you defend having ISIS having Facebook pages? That's a great question, and that's something that you and I should. I don't want to answer that right now because I support free speech, but that's a terrorist organization. They have used social media as propaganda to hurt people. But I think also Facebook should work with the authorities to track these people down, use it as a bait, and track them down and arrest them. There we go. I mean, that's a good answer, but that's a question that I want to think very deep into before I even make a public statement or a public comment on that. Because, like I said, free speech is wonderful. But when you're talking about like ISIS, you're talking about Nazis, different things like that, you got to support free speech. You have to. That's why I say you don't suppress it at all, and you use it. Watch them closely, bait and switch, and use it whenever they're breaking a crime or intending to hurt someone. Use it. Also, moving on to Twitter, Candace Owens was briefly blocked on Twitter on August 5th. She tweets out, "Blown away by the amount of patriots that just came to my side to make this happen. She will be periscoping live the entire debacle in 30 minutes, and I'm blessed to know you all." So, needless to say, she got a email from Twitter. "Hello, we have restored your account, and we apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Twitter takes reports of violations of the Twitter rules very seriously. After reviewing your account, it looks like we made an error. Thanks, Twitter support." Yeah, it was an inconvenience for her. But I gotta say, I think that takes a lot of cojones, takes a lot of courage to come out and admit that you were wrong. I mean, if you go on Twitter, you can still get Alex Jones, you can get Candace Owens, you can get just about anybody that you want to look for. I'm praying, I'm hoping, let's all tweet out to @Jack to please make Twitter the beacon of free speech. Because Facebook, apparently, and I'm not here supporting Alex Jones, I'm not here supporting Milo at all. But one thing we have to agree with, and both of them are despicable people. They're grotesque people, in my opinion. But we have to support their speech. Their free speech is too important not to support. I mean, when you have Senator Ted Cruz coming out and supporting this for someone like Alex Jones, who accused his dad of assassinating JFK. If he can support free speech like that with someone as despicable as Alex Jones, then why can't you? Why can't I? We can, and we should. And it's funny because I'm looking into all this. Twitter is just wide open, and as I'm talking to you right now, InfoWars is like in the trends for trending 477,000 tweets. People are onto this. I mean, that's a significant number. But you go on Google Play, You go on Apple, iTunes, because on iTunes, Alex Jones Show was removed. InfoWars official app is still available. If he's so dangerous and he's violated the hate speech that is coming on these sites, why are those not taken down? That's what I want to know. That's why I'm saying the media, it took a normal everyday guy like myself 2 seconds, boop, 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 to find that out. It's the first thing I went for looking. Okay, do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. I went on these sites. I went on Google Play, on the interwebs, typed in Alex Jones. InfoWars official site came up. The app. You can download that. iTunes, you can download, and the apps, I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, iTunes it's gone, but on Apple, the App Store, you can download InfoWars app. See, this is, the internet is the freest and most important tool that's ever been created for mankind. I mean, you think sometimes people, you're especially people in power, people that have things to hide, pardon me, are hated because, especially when you see politicians and different people that are doing nefarious things, they don't want to be caught because we live in an age where everything can be videotaped and shared across YouTube, be shared across all over the internet, which to me is a great thing. What do we do? What do we do? I encourage you to to use Twitter, and my Twitter account is @OregonRedskin. I'm never changing that. I love that because it kind of describes two parts of my life. Where I grew up, the Redskins remind me of my grandma and my East Coast family. And Oregon is my future. I've been out here for about 10 years. So, @OregonRedskin, tweet out. If you come up with a hashtag, tag me on Twitter with it. Tweet at Jack, and let's encourage him to make Twitter the beacon of free speech. Because if we lose free speech, we're done. That's why everybody loves the internet so much. I know I do. That's why it's so important. It's so important. I mean, look at Twitter with Candace Owen. People tweeted at them, and they realized they made a mistake, and they righted their wrong. Maybe Facebook will come out and do that, but they're a private organization, and they have the right to do it. But does it make it right? Does it make it moral? Does it make it encouraging to continue to be on Facebook? Maybe somebody else needs to develop a platform. I mean, there's a couple out there, BitChute, different stuff like that. But there needs to become a bigger platform that we as free speech enthusiasts, free speech absolutists, that's what I am, a free speech absolutist, can go on to and don't feel offended. I mean, I'm looking at Spotify, I'm looking at YouTube, Facebook, blocking, unpublishing Alex Jones. I go on YouTube's terms of service and your use of content. And it kind of made me think, and you should listen to it. Section D of your use of content. In addition to the general restrictions above, the following restrictions and conditions apply specifically to your use of content. Section D. You understand that when using the service, you will be exposed to content from a variety of sources, and that YouTube is not responsible for the accuracy, usefulness, safety, or intellectual property rights of or relating to such content. You further understand and acknowledge that you may be exposed to content that is inaccurate, offensive, indecent, or objectionable, and you agree to waive and hereby do waive any legal or equitable rights or remedies you have or may have against YouTube with respect thereto, and to the extent permitted by applicable law, agree to identify and hold harmless YouTube, its owners, operators, affiliates, licensors, and licenses to the fullest extent allowed by law regarding all matters related to your use of service. I've been on YouTube, I don't know how long, 5, 6, 7, 8, however long before it became hot. And I never read the terms of service. If you go on my Twitter page, I tweeted out that entire section to YouTube. It's important that we all tweet at Twitter, and maybe and I encourage you all to tweet at YouTube because you know they're checking those. Let me say this to you. YouTube is not responsible for the accuracy, usefulness, safety, or intellectual property rights of or relating to such content. You further understand and acknowledge that you may be exposed to content that is inaccurate, offensive, indecent, or objectionable, and you agree to waive, and hereby do waive any legal or equitable rights or remedies you have or may have against YouTube. That's clear as day right there, folks. Clear as day. What more do I need to say about that? It's absolutely nuts. Anyways, let's take a break because on the other side of this, it's been a cycle. I've been out for 2 weeks. I have my assault straws on the ready. But I want to cover President Trump and LeBron James going head to head. It's a doozy. Anyways, hey, catch me on the flip side. You're listening to Common Sense Radio. Thanks a bunch for tuning in tonight.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.
In every rising of the sun, my purpose was to be thankful to be alive. I was even more thankful for the blessings that came with this life, specifically Virdis, my wife. But that came to an end when Akhlavain and her minions violently took her away from me. So my new purpose in this life is to gather all the pieces of the Stone's Heart so I can defeat Akhlavain and get back my bride. Join me as I travel to new worlds, making new friends and avoiding old enemies. Read more about my story in the first 2 books of the Stone's Heart series, which are now available on Amazon.com in Kindle format. The first book is The Quest for Savitvarda, and that is followed by The Heart of Pagaila. Stone's Heart is more than a fantasy and a sci-fi quest. It's me fighting to get back my precious wife, despite the overwhelming odds against me. Stone's Heart. Join, explore, and believe.
And welcome back, folks. LeBron James opened in Akron, Ohio, his hometown, the I Promise School, which is a public school in the Akron Public Schools. Akron is notorious and right now being known as some schools that are failing. significantly. So LeBron James funded and built a public school in Akron called the LeBron's I Promise School. And it's just called the I Promise School, but everybody, because he's one of 120 donors that have supported and helped build this school. And some of the things that are notable, and it's a good thing of what he's doing. It really is. Free tuition, free uniforms, free bicycle and helmet, free transportation within 2 miles, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks, food pantry for families, GEDs, and job placement services for parents. Guaranteed tuition to the University of Akron for every student who graduates. So you're thinking, why? Why is this? What are you talking about? And if you don't live under a rock, or just not really paying attention because the media, the mainstream media is not giving you the real stories on this, this is where I like to say bad Trump. Even though it's funnier than hell, some of his stuff is hilarious. President Trump tweets out August 3rd, LeBron James was just interviewed by the dumbest man on television, Don Lemon. And that quite possibly could be right. And from that part on, you're like, okay, what? He made LeBron look smart, which isn't easy to do. I like Mike. Oh, I like Mike too. Mr. President. But you can't dismiss the good that King James is doing. I'm not calling. I better not call him King James. If I call him King James again, smack me. There's only one King, Jesus Christ. Where was I? I think I need a sip of my Bud Light Orange. Give me a second, folks. Oh, time out real quick. This is what you will receive if you get between 5 and 10 people to like my Facebook page, Common Sense Radio, and Beal's Custom and Engraving Woodworking. Just go on Common Sense Radio and on Facebook page, just type in Common Sense Radio and you will find it. The first person that does this will receive this, and I will mail it. I will deliver it to you. I just want to get the algorithm up. Let's get people informed. Share. But this is a pretty cool thing he made for me, and I really enjoy it. And we can definitely have more made up if people end up liking them. Back to President Trump and LeBron. Well, I didn't set too well with celebrity, or who cares about the celebrities, with sports athletes. They came out defending LeBron, which is a good thing. And then you come to a lot of them were just hammering President Trump. And that's what the mainstream media was reporting of, racist President Trump. And if you haven't really been listening or following the president at all, objectively fair, you wouldn't understand that he says a lot of stuff and 90% of it he forgets later. That's just who he is. That's why he got elected, because he said a lot of stuff. The Bubba, I mean, there's so many reasons we can go on and on of why he got elected. But almost if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have found out that ex-Chicago Bull and current Timberwolves player Derrick Rose is donating $400,000 to at-risk youth. Bravo. A couple things that I want to, that really struck me while following this story over the last couple days is, Why doesn't LeBron and Derrick Rose and other athletes let's double and match what they're spending to help the at-risk students and areas all over. I mean, especially in a place like Chicago since Friday, who had 59 shootings. Right now, I challenge all the Chicago Bull players to donate $100,000, $50,000, $25,000 to help with the fatherless families, for the kids that are at risk, that are running the streets. Why aren't the athletes doing that? Every Chicago Bear, every Chicago Blackhawk. Let's do it. Okay? I'm hoping that this it's with the way the media cycle moves now, it's dead now, because this free speech, which the free speech should be more important. I'm hoping that this can trigger many athletes to help and give even more back to the community. If you just take every sports athlete in every big city and say they give $5,000 each, probably not the practice squad or the ones not making that much money, but actually, hell, I challenge those guys too. Give $5,000, $10,000 to the local communities, to the ones that are hurting. There's a lot of them in every neighborhood. Let's make a positive impact with these kids that are at risk. But the whole controversy that got blown out was started by Don Lemon. He interviewed LeBron James and was talking about the I Promise School and started prodding him about the divisiveness that is happening in America. And LeBron responded by saying President Trump is using sports to divide America. No, sorry LeBron. I cannot take that. Sports is my happy place. That's where I will go to get away from the political correctness. And when I'm at work, when I'm out talking with people about sports, we don't talk about people kneeling. We don't talk about being divided on sports. For instance, I'm huge into fantasy football. Huge. Been playing it for 20 plus years. That's not what I'm talking about whenever I'm watching football. Last year, I did not watch NFL regular season at all due to the nonsense that was happening. And I think the NFL took note with all the people that did not watch. This season, I have to. I mean, it was every Sunday, Thursday, Monday night was in years past, was my sanctuary, was my get away from the political correctness that I cannot handle. It was madness. But a lot of people tried to stir this and point fingers at the president and blame him, including LeBron, including Don Lemon, and other mainstream media members. Where were those people when Tim Tebow was made a fool, was pictured as the Christian guy that takes a knee and prays after and before games? Where's the same media? Where's the same athletes that would stand for his right? Yet they want to do these social justice movements on the NFL's time, on when people want to sit there and relax, get their nachos, get their beer, and watch a football game. I hate to say, no. I love to say, where were these athletes, especially these NFL players that have pushed it? I mean, you notice there was no controversy in the NBA. They put their hand up, whatever. Where are all these athletes on the off seasons making these social justice perfect example for all the kids? Where are they? Where is the social justice warriors that are out promoting this stuff? I didn't see them. Because ABC, NBC, all these news stations would have been out there promoting it, and they would have had unlimited airtime. But that's not good for business. Bashing the president is what's good for business. And I don't agree with everything that he says. But if you look at the unemployment numbers, we're at full unemployment. If you look at Hispanic and Black unemployment numbers, it's at the lowest it's ever been in, and I don't want to misquote, but forever. But he's a racist. We have to block him. We have to cause controversy for him. No. We're addicted to outrage. We're addicted to causing issues. Because the same people that are standing behind LeBron saying that President Trump is using sports to divide us are the ones that are getting upset at EA Sports Madden 2019 on their product. Madden 2019 is EA Sports. It's not anybody else's. Removing the word Colin Kaepernick out of a song. First off, I wouldn't have picked that song. That's case closed. But it is their product. And if you listen to people like Pat Gray Unleashed, you'll laugh your butt off because he made a good point. He played it. It was a terrible edit. But here's what I say. Pick a different song. And if you since you didn't, it's EA Sports. It's their game. It's their soundtrack. They're using your money or music. They're paying money to use your music. And they can use it however they want. But people are getting in an uproar over Colin Kaepernick because he's this pariah now. He's this martyr for social justice. Oh, but you forget that he was wearing pigs and cop pigs socks. He was wearing one of the most ruthless killers in all of world history, Fidel Castro shirts, to press conferences. But his girlfriend's up in an uproar because his name was taken out of his song on a product that he doesn't own. Also, he's not in the NFL. Shocker. Unreal. We're going to be covering a lot more sports tonight. Last week was the kickoff to the NFL season. Last Thursday night was the annual Hall of Fame football game, and I look forward to it every year after the Super Bowl. And I look forward to it more this year because I didn't watch NFL last year. I watched the Super Bowl. I had to. I needed my football fix. And I was looking forward all the way up to the Hall of Fame game. Because you have your Hall of Fame game, and then you have your class of 2000. This year would have been 2018 Hall of Fame candidates that were entered into the Hall of Fame. You got people like Ray Lewis, Randy Moss, Brian Dawkins. I mean, guys that deserve to be in there. Excellent football players. Guys I really liked. All of them showed up except for one. Terrell Owens. He loves him some me. I love me some me, he's quoted as saying. And he refused to be at the ceremony in Canton, Ohio, because he decided he wanted to make a statement by being at his alma mater, Chattanooga, Tennessee University. And he was upset because for the last 2 years, 2016, 2017, he was not elected to the Hall of Fame. Terrell, I'm sorry you didn't get your trophy. You have it now. Move on. It's not everybody gets selected to the Hall of Fame. And to be quite frank with you, next year's class of 2019, many of those players like Ty Law, Tony Gonzalez, deserve to be in the Hall of Fame before you. Okay? But like I said earlier, we live in a society of participation trophies. We live in a society where people are not... as a sports fan, this should have been covered more in depth. As a free speech American, this should be covered more in depth. A culture, cover this more. Let the people know how much of a big crybaby Terrell Owens is. I mean, if you followed any kind of football or sports over the last 10 years, you know how much of a crybaby he is. And this is just typical Terrell Owens. I love me some me. He was getting up and giving his emotional speeches because he's just giving it to the writers who refused to vote him in. So I love you, stood up. I love you, Terrell Owens. I love you too, but I love me more. Give me a break. You can't even be humbled to get your gold jacket. And then he was throwing a hissy fit that he wasn't going to get it potentially until it was mailed to him. And you know what? If I was in charge of the Hall of Fame jackets, in charge of the shrines, I would have used the United States Postal Service, and it would have took 10 times longer. But he happened to have a friend up there that was able to bring it to him. Why would they even cater to him? I have two sides on this. I understand why they let his friend fly down from Canton to give to him, because they didn't want to deal with his mouth and any more uproar that would come their way. I get it. I totally get it. And I would absolutely agree that I would... No, I know. No, I wouldn't. No way. No way. You have to stand your feet. You don't want to come up to Canton, Ohio to receive with the other Hall of Fame inductees? No. You're not getting it, buddy. I'm mailing it to you. You don't want to come up here? Mailing it. I'm using the slowest service, United States Postal Service. I'm not using FedEx. I'm not using UPS. No way. I'm not spending an extra penny on you. I'll get tracking to make sure you see it. But I would tell them, don't send it out till tomorrow. Unfreaking believable. I mean, so much to cover. I could do 2 hours tonight. I mean, there is so much news to cover. It is unfreaking believable. I mean, this cycle is crazy. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, let's go ahead. Let's take a break. And on the other side of the break, we're back and we will talk about Senator Feinstein and her spy. You're listening to Common Sense Radio.
Check out lumberlax.com. Lumberlax is a lacrosse company started by an 11-year-old Kai Talley in Beaverton, Oregon. This kid plays lacrosse and uses the money he makes to help other less fortunate kids play. He partners with nonprofits to give money to kids that can't physically play the game at his level or any level due to special needs or illness. This is an amazing thing that he is doing, and he is extremely involved in his community and proud that he does this. Take a look at the website www.lumberlac.com or email them directly at lumberlac@comcast.net and order a custom shaft for yourself or someone else. They also do coaches gifts, team sticks. They work with people to do fundraisers and so much more. They are proud sponsors of Common Sense Radio with A.J. Davis. Please check out lumberlax.com.
Welcome back to the program, folks. Like I teased you on the other side of the break. Senator Dianne Feinstein. The Honorable. Sorry, that was a joke. That was a joke. And You wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it if the news... Oh, wait, the mainstream media really didn't talk about that. That's why I'm here talking about it. Senator Dianne Feinsteins reportedly had a Chinese spy infiltrate her office for some 20 years. And this is from the San Francisco Chronicle and Politico. She had a driver that infiltrated for 20 years. And about 5 years ago, the FBI approached her and let her know about this. And she took action, though. Don't you worry. She took action, and she fired him. But she didn't let the rest of her staff know about it. So, immediately... I'm reading these articles. I'm reading the Daily Wire reported on it. Politico, the San Francisco Chronicle reported on this. They didn't go as in depth as I would have or ask the questions I would have asked. So, had I had a chance to talk to any of the people involved, these some of the things I'm thinking off the top of my head instantly. Just a regular everyday American. If it was her driver, you might instantly think, that's a low-level position. Oh, don't worry, just drive her space to space. Actually, it's probably very, very smart. If you're thinking nefariously, you're thinking, how can I get in? A driver's the perfect position to infiltrate. And this spy that infiltrated just reported back to the Chinese embassy, would go on her behalf to different Chinese events in the Bay Area. I mean, a big area. Oh, but it's a low level, AJ. It's a low level position. No. A driver is actually a very key. They hear all the private conversations with whoever gets into their vehicles, their cell phone calls. Come on. It's a United States senator. They're getting phone calls, listening to their staff. They could potentially have classified information in their vehicle. It's an perfect spot to get a spy in. It's perfect to. So I wanted to... Did Dianne Feinstein have any private or classified conversations with this spy? Did she have any conversations that involved classified material with her own staff, with any congressman or woman? I know I didn't say congressperson. I'm not using the proper pronouns, but that's what I want to know. Can she verify that she did not? Second, why did she not tell her staff? That would be the first set of people that I would want to tell. Why would she not come out publicly? I mean, if she came out publicly 5 years ago and told, hey, the FBI just notified me that we have been infiltrated and we had no clue that a Chinese spy got into my staff. It was my driver. We're looking into all the transaction, the trips, the conversations, cell phone records, everything while this person was around. We're looking to everything. But no, you got to wait for the Politico? You got to wait for the San Francisco Chronicle to report on that? Something isn't right about this story. You look also, and I hate to just... It's Congress in general. And they do not care. It's all about power. We've talked about that many, many times. It's power, power, power. What happened to Debbie Wasserman Schultz, IT guy? Oh, he's pleaded to bank fraud, tax evasion, whatever it was. Where's that spy at now? Did they register as a spy? Did they report as one? No, because they're a spy. Something is just not right about this, and I'm not sure. We've got to wait for more facts to come in. I want to jump to conclusion, but I'm hoping the FBI. I'm hoping we need to open an inquiry on Congress, an independent solicitor general, to go look at these types of situations and dig deep. We need to. On to other news. President Maduro of Venezuela told his Socialist Party-controlled Congress, quote, "The production models we've tried so far have failed, and the responsibility is ours, mine and yours," end quote. But I thought socialism worked. Democratic socialism works. That's right. That works. But, I reached out to someone I know that runs a Venezuela. I can't even. How would I describe it? It's a group that sends supplies back to Venezuela and does scholarships here in the state. It's good work. Good person here. But I reached out to them, and they told me that corruption, power, is what's destroying there. So, if you look at it, Venezuela's economic collapse follows the socialist regime's aggressive nationalization of various key industries and sectors, including cement and steel, supermarket chains, and hundreds of other businesses. Maduro has also imposed price controls in various industries and has even taken the dramatic step of marching the army into the streets to make sure that the shops aren't defying price limits. Maduro told his Congress that he expects that it will take about, quote, about 2 years to reach a high level of stability, end quote, and experience, the quote, the first symptoms of new economic prosperity without 1 second affecting Social Security and protection, end quote. And that's reported from AFP. So Maduro, Venezuela, people of the United States, free market economics work. I mean, like we talked earlier, free markets will determine Facebook. If Facebook keeps going down the path of oppressing speech, and they're a private company, the free market's gonna take care of it. Someone's gonna create another platform, and I'm sure there's already another platform in the works. Oh, wait. Twitter. Yes. And that's where we lead to next. And we're staying in Venezuela as President Maduro was giving a speech. A drone with explosives flew overhead and exploded over him, injuring some people. Maduro actually asked President Trump to send help to protect him. Do you see how much debt we are in? We're not the world police. I'm sorry, President Maduro. The United States is not sending any help down there until we can send some food in to the people of Venezuela to help them. I mean, the inflation rate's insane. It's a commodity 4 or 5 years ago just to get toilet paper. I can't imagine what it's like now. And you want us to send you protection? You've got to be kidding me. But in Caracas, 6 terrorists and hired killers have been arrested in Venezuela accused of trying to assassinate President Maduro in an alleged drone attack, the government said on Sunday. Well. So, if socialism is democratic socialism, because that's what the party is failing in Venezuela, and people have the access to the internet to look it up, find out, why are candidates like Alexandria or Ocasio-Cortez so popular right now? Well, they're not popular in places like Oregon. They're popular in places like New York, California. We had that candidate in Kansas, but there's no chance that's going to happen. No chance. In New York, I mean, she's pretty much already said, picked out her furniture for her room, or for her office in Congress. I mean, there's no Republican or anyone that's going to challenge her. But we live in such a crazy times right now. Whenever the new Republicans coming out and say Bernie Sanders isn't left enough, Tom Perez is saying Ocasio-Cortez is the future of the Democratic Party. That's not the Democrats and the liberals that I know, that I'm friends with. No, they don't support that kind of stuff. We can have reasonable conversations. That's why people are turning to alternate media to find what they need. Shows like this. So I encourage you, please, like my Facebook page, share it, get the word out. Because there's never going to be a day that comes by that you're listening to this program that I'm going to sell out, that I'm not going to push for the Bill of Rights. I'm a free speech absolutist. I mean, that's the right side of history. It's the right side of history. And I'm so glad to be back with you guys. I took vacation last week and, so great. So great. Only thing is, in Central Oregon, the weather, it's desert-like. So if I sound a little off tonight, it's just the congestion. It was brutal. Brutal. Anyways, I want to thank you for tuning in tonight. Again, share, like, and get the word out. And as always, God bless. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring future generations. Stay connected and get involved at lanterns.buzz for great radio. Get commentary and news of the day. Lanterns.buzz.